I see. Well, hello, chaps and chappets, Scone Chap and Bertie here.
Yes.
Yes, indeed, fellows, and I dare say we are now discussing here our list of the top 5 worst course designs and level ideas in Super Mario Maker, and by George, it seems you run into these all the time, old chap.
Most certainly, yes. So this is for Super Mario Maker. But the thing is, when we say worst, we're not saying sort of hard and tough. We're saying just worst design, just frustrating to play.
That's right, badly designed, poorly thought out courses that leave the user feeling more frustrated and angry than when they started, and the whole idea of the game is to enjoy yourself. So,
well, of course.
Let's start straight in then, fellows, at number 5. Our number 5 on this list is courses that are very, 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 very long with no checkpoints.
Exactly. Right, okay. So these courses are extremely long.
Yes.
Yes, very, very long, but there's no checkpoints.
That's right.
Okay, so just imagine what's happening here. You're going along playing it on your Super Mario Maker. Along you go, and you've gone right the way down, and you get knocked out.
Exactly, and you get knocked out at the very end of the level or just before the level, and then you have to do the whole thing over and over again, maybe 3, 4 or 5 times, especially if there's a difficult part at the end of the level.
Well, exactly, and then you get to a certain point where you're getting knocked out at. Work that out, master that. Go sort of, a couple of yards ahead, and then bang, you hit another one, knocked out again, and go back to the start.
Exactly. In courses like this, fellows, there should either be checkpoints in the level, which you'll be able to do very shortly in an upcoming Super Mario Maker update, which allows you to add checkpoints, or the difficulty should be balanced commensurately so that perhaps the harder parts are at the start of the course, and as you get further and further into the level, the chance of you getting knocked out and having to start all over again reduces.
Exactly. So, number 5, worst course designs idea.
Exactly.
Too long with no checkpoints.
There's just too many of these things around, fellows, I tell you now. And what's in at number 4, old chap?
Well, number 4. Now, courses that force you to scroll the screen vertically instead of horizontally.
Ah, indeed. Now, Super Mario is supposed to be, the last time I checked, a horizontal scrolling game. It's not supposed to be a game that goes up and down all the time.
Well, hang on, wait a minute.
What?
Mario goes up and down, doesn't he?
But he jumps.
He goes up and down. We
yes,
accept that.
But the screen is not meant to be going up and down like a fiddler's elbow, old chap.
I would agree with you, yes indeed. I mean, the understood thing of Mario over all these years is he sort of goes right.
Right.
He sort of goes right, doesn't he?
Usually
he goes towards the right.
Towards the right. Not towards the up and the down. He goes to the right.
I mean, exactly. He does go down if you get knocked out, but never mind.
Well, yes, exactly. Now, of course, the trouble, fellows, with these vertically scrolling stages is as you get higher and higher and closer to the top of the screen, it becomes harder and harder to see what's going on because the camera gets a little bit, well, shall we say, sulky near the top of the screen, old boy. It becomes rather difficult to see what's up ahead, and of course, the camera by default will only show you the bottom area of the stage, and you have to really go up very high the camera will agree to show you the higher parts of the stage. So that basically the whole game is not designed for courses to be played vertically. They're supposed to be played horizontally across the screen. Now, I do appreciate, of course, that if you play on the vertical plane as well as the horizontal plane, you do have more room to build stages and more room for Mario to adventure in. But the thing is, it's just not designed for that. As I said, the camera's quirks, indeed the very gameplay element designs themselves, do not allow for elaborate and extensive courses made on the vertical plane for the most part.
Exactly. So what we're saying really is what goes up must come down and then go right.
Exactly.
Right?
What? That's right. That's right.
That's it.
Or we'll have no patience left.
We won't, no.
Thank you very much. Now, the next one, videos, in at number 3. Courses that require you to use a power-up or item to beat them, a specific power-up or item, but then you don't get any resupplies if you lose that item or pick-up, so you have to start all over again.
Yes, it's a good point, that. So someone's come up with a great idea.
Yes.
He's made this course saying, I'm going to be double smart. I'm not just going to have one of those that go along and Mario does things and all the rest of it. I'm going to put something clever and smart in there where you have to bang a little box, he has to nut the old box, doing, and off out comes the goodie, and he's got it. This helps him to complete the course, see?
Exactly. And then, of course, Mario goes and runs straight into the nearest Goomba and loses his power-up, and then the player is left high and dry because there's no way of resupplying the jolly power-up, old chap.
Well, exactly. Mario goes for a lava bath, and then he ends up right back at the start.
If he goes for a lava bath, he's usually dead, old boy. I was thinking more he takes damage, actually.
Well, he takes damage. He can take a little lava bath. Do you know the one he used to go, whoa,
That was in Mario 64, I think, but
Yes,
not in this
sort
one. But anyway, fellows, let's say, for example, you're required to use a big mushroom, the amiibo big mushroom, or, for example, a propeller suit or a cape feather to beat the stage in any given stage. And I've seen this many times. Now, let's say you take a hit with any of those power-ups equipped. You will, of course, lose that power-up. Now, if the power-up is placed into a question box, that means it's only good for one use and you can't get it back, thus meaning that the course designer is not allowing the player to resupply their goods and thereby have a fair chance of completing the stage.
Exactly.
What they should be doing, and what course designers should really do, is place those power-ups into a pipe or other similar, shall we say, goods ejecting variety of structure, if you will, which continually produces the goods you require, be they P-switches, cape feathers, propeller suits, or whatever else Mario requires to complete the course.
Exactly, that would be the way to do it. I mean, without doing that, it's sort of like installing a toilet sort of thing, without putting the drainage away, just bolting it to the floor.
Well, I suppose...
don't think that's a very good example,
I don't
but
really
it came
think
to me
that's
for some
very
reason,
good
don't know why.
example, but anyway, yes, that is, of course, number 3 on our list, Fidel.
Yes.
Items and pickups that are required but don't resupply. Now,
Fine.
of course, the question is, what's number 2, old chap, of the worst course designs for Super Mario Maker?
Well, number 2, courses that just overuse water, ice, single wide blocks, or moving platforms.
Ah, yes, indeed, and of course we've all had that frustrating experience with a water course, an ice course, a single block wide platform course, or a moving platform course.
Right, exactly. So how can we describe it? You've got a moving platform going up and down, up and down, up and down, all left and right.
Listen to me, I tell you, I hate moving platforms that go from side to side because it's so hard to time your jumps just right, and of course, if you get one jump wrong, it's off the edge, and you've got to start again.
Especially the ones that they've made the gap between one moving platform and another just a bit too wide. So actually,
Yes.
you can't actually do it at all.
Exactly.
So just some buffoon just sits there all afternoon trying to do it.
and he
He'll
can't.
get hit in soon, Mum, and it never happens.
And he doesn't realise there's a hidden cape feather in a block he has to get to fly over.
Exactly, and eventually Mum just hits him over the head with something because he's late for his tea or something.
That sounds terrible, old chap.
Well, yeah,
but
just sort of say that
anyway,
anyway.
fellows, also, of course, water. Water slows you down, and by extension of that fact, it takes longer to beat water levels in general, and
does.
thereby, if you get knocked out at the end of a very long water level, you're probably not going to want to start the whole thing again. You'll be reaching for the skip button. Also,
Exactly.
of course, ice makes you slip around like an elephant on roller skates, particularly if you're using the weird mushroom power-up, so therefore courses that overuse ice will send Mario slippy sliding off to his doom too many times, which is frustrating.
It is.
And of course, single wide block courses, whilst they appear to present, shall we say, more of a challenge, they are really an exercise in frustration, because of course you jump from one to the other, and if you get one jump wrong, it's off the edge and back to the start for you. And whilst I'm on the subject of having a go at these things, I tell you something else that's got me angry recently, old boy, and that's courses that have not only single block wide platforms, but single block wide platforms with those wretched, rotten springs on the top. You know, the ones you have to press the button just the right time to get the full height jump off of it, old boy.
My goodness me, yes, I know.
Do you know the ones?
I do.
If you held the jump button down and hit the spring, you'll go off the edge to your doom. You have to keep pressing the button at just the right time. It's so frustrating, old boy.
It most certainly is,
dear.
yes. A bit like the birds sort of pecking the top of the milk.
Yes. Well, the milk...
okay, never mind.
That's a bit old, I think.
Water, ice, and milk, I don't know. But anyway, yes. No,
But I got that off my chest anyway, so there you are, fellas.
You did, but you're
They are
exactly
very
right.
angry.
But just one thing
very
you should
annoying,
say.
I mean. Yes, what's that?
Yes, we've got that now. You've said
Yes.
it. But just saying, when we say the water and ice, you might think, well, hang on, isn't it supposed to have these things there because it's sort of hard? But we're saying overuse of them.
Don't overuse them.
Right.
You can have water, you can have ice and blah 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 and all the rest of it, but don't overuse them.
Right.
Nintendo, of course, don't overuse those either.
They don't.
And what's the number 1 worst course design in Super Mario Maker?
Well, the number 1 course design that it's just too. It's just too hard.
Exactly.
It's just too hard.
It's just too hard.
I mean, there's no
you
too-
can't beat it. It's unfair.
It's too hard. Now the thing is, before someone says, but wait, there's some extremely tough levels in Mario and all the Mario games, very, very tough indeed, and they're hard. You say, but this is just too hard.
Exactly. This is, we've filled the entire stage from top to bottom with Goombas with wings who are riding in Koopa Clown cars with Bowsers on their heads and with invincible stars flying around just out of reach and with a pit of spikes beneath with holes in it that leads straight down to lava, and Mario has only small Mario and no power-ups at all, so don't even think about it. Oh, and you've got 10 seconds on the clock, so good luck.
Oh yes, that's right. Only had 10 seconds to do the whole thing. Yes,
Exactly.
That's right, of course.
So
They're
that
hard.
kind of course,
Well, yes, extremely hard courses that are, too hard really, so that you just can't complete complete them. So you might find the course, go on it and say, well, I'll have a go at this. But of course, you can't actually do it. So, it sort of takes away the whole challenge of the thing, because if it's too hard, you can't even do it no matter how long you spend.
An exercise in frustration,
Exactly, yes, indeed. It sort of takes away from it.
And it's all very well playing expert mode and having expert courses on there. And I'm not against expert courses at all. In fact, I'm for them. They're a great challenge. But courses that are just too hard and frustratingly so should not be in expert courses. They shouldn't be in the jolly game, old chap.
Most certainly. And also, I've got another one, I'm just thinking.
What's that?
What about courses that there's something, that it's supposed to be, I don't know, the Eiffel Tower or something.
Yes.
The Super Mario Maker Eiffel Tower. But when you get there, it's just a load of Goombas walking about on a platform or something. And you think, well, hang on a minute, how is that
the Eiffel Tower?
And someone says, well, because, they sort of stacked up in one of the games, didn't they, or something? You say, absolutely, the film doesn't look like the Eiffel Tower.
Bertie's honourable mention, fellows, goes to our terrible pixel art courses. They're just awful ice foil, by they really are.
That's right.
So let's recap then, fellows. At number 5, courses that are just very, very long with no checkpoints.
Yep.
Number 4, courses that make you scroll the screen vertically instead of horizontally. Number 3, courses that need you to use a power-up or item that's required to complete the level, but there's no resupplies of that item. Number 2, courses that overuse water, ice, single-wide blocks or moving platforms. And number 1, courses that are just too hard.
That's exactly, just too hard.
Yes, I say.
Well, but the thing is, though, I just have a thought,
What's that?
Imagine if you took all those 5 points and built a course based on...
Don't give them any ideas, for goodness sake, no.
It would be sort of fun, wouldn't it?
A course that is very, very long with no checkpoints, scrolls vertically instead of horizontally, has required power-ups that don't resupply, is filled with water, ice, single-eyed blocks from moving platforms, and is just too hard, and also has some terrible pixel art in it.
Yes, and the toilet, they did to the floor without the drainage.
Yes, I think, fellows, I have just described for you the worst course in Super Mario Maker history.
You have.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Game Chap and Buddy, bring you our top 5 worst course designs. Thank you most kindly for joining us, fellows, I say. And we look forward to seeing you once more in the next exciting outing, and please don't make any bad Mario Maker courses, I say.
No,
After then.